Rama Rama Hare Rama Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, in Eastern. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you, Janaki. After such a presentation, I don't know what to say. Yeah, we can someone bring one Bhagavad Gita from upstairs next to the reception? Do we have? Yeah? Okay, great. Because it's difficult to speak on lessons on Bhagavad Gita if we don't have Bhagavad Gita. I mean, we can, but great. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll read shortly one verse from Bhagavad Gita. It's from second chapter, verse 48 to 48. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhi asidyo samo bhuttva samatvam yoga uchyate. The great teachers, acharyas who are explaining Bhagavad Gita, they are saying that this verse is giving the definition of yoga. What is yoga? Would you like to know what is yoga? Okay. Translation. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. We will read the purport, very short purport. Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. And what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever-disturbing senses. And who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord. And because he himself is telling Arjuna to fight, Arjuna has nothing to do with the result of the fight. Gain or victory are Krishna's concern. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga, and this is practiced in the process called Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness only can one give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of Krishna or the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness, which alone can help one to act in yoga. Arjuna is a Kshatriya, and as such, he is participating in the Varnashrama Dharma institution. It is said in Vishnu Purana that in the Varnashrama Dharma, the whole aim is to satisfy Vishnu. No one should satisfy himself, as is the rule in the material world, but one should satisfy Krishna. So, unless one satisfies Krishna, one cannot correctly observe the principles of Varnashrama Dharma. Indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act as Krishna told him. So one more time, what is yoga? Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So we are getting few messages here. One message is we have to perform our duty. Then the second message is one should abandon attachment to success or failure. So in other words, no matter what is the result from performing your duty, you have to steadily go on, steadily continue with your activities. We are going to speak about these things now. So our topic is practical lessons from Bhagavad Gita. I'll just first make a little bit introduction. Why we have this book and what is this book? Why it's called Remember Me and Fight? Maybe a little bit too strong title. With who we are going to fight? With other country or with the UFO in the cosmos, or like what's happening here? With Pandava, we had the fortune to spend actually a long time in India, in one ashram, one holy place, which is called Mayapur. How many of you know about Mayapur? Okay, few. Yeah, so it's a very special place. So we were mainly studying there, studying Bhagavad Gita, studying few other books, shastras, and at some point after studying, we got involved, especially Pandava Prabhu, with one of the schools there, and he started helping for developing different kind of courses. They were predominantly a place for training and teaching of kids, but at some point they decided to develop adult education. And they started developing all these courses on Bhagavad Gita first, then Srimad Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita, different courses for big people. And he started making all these curriculums for Bhagavad Gita, for Srimad Bhagavatam. And then in order to do that, you have to study Bhagavad Gita. Of course, our course was on the basis of this Bhagavad Gita. It's called Bhagavad Gita as it is. But also there are other great teachers who are explaining the meaning of Bhagavad Gita from our disciplic succession, like Madhvacharya, and from other disciplic successions like Ramanujacharya, or our previous acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or Bhaudeva Vidibhushana. These are great learned scholars who are explaining the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. So in order to write these materials, he had to read all these things. So it's lots of reading, lots of absorption, and lots of nectar at the same time. So he did all this job, and these courses, they were produced, and devotees start taking them and teaching them. And then after some time we came with the idea, wait a minute, like we went through all this work of reading all these purports and commentaries, and there is so much interesting stuff there, and we have it basically ready. So why don't we just try to chew it nicely and give it to the people in a way that they can very easily take it, understand it, and sow it, use it in their personal life. And that was the idea behind this book. Actually, in this book we are trying to present like some of the most important points from the purports of Srila Prabhupada within this book, Bhagavad Gita as it is. And additionally, there are some interesting points from other great acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Madhvacharya, Bhavadeva Vidibhushana. So the idea is basically to help you to understand this Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavad Gita of Srila Prabhupada. That is the idea of this book, something like a companion on studying of Bhagavad Gita. And now let's go back to the topic, some practical things that we can get from Bhagavad Gita and easily practice in our life. Well, I'll share a few thoughts, and then Pandava will also join and share a few thoughts. As we read in today's verse, first thing is duty or action. This is one of the main topics of Bhagavad Gita, especially in the first six chapters. First six chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they are teaching us how to be active, how to perform our duty. So this is very important because everybody is anyway active in this world, isn't it? Can someone say, I'm not active? I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything, I'm not eating, I'm not breathing, I'm not dreaming while I'm sleeping. Can you say this? No, so we are always active anyway. Now the question is if our activity is properly directed. In other words, we should learn to be active in such a way that we can get a good result from our activities. But this is one good lessons we can get from Bhagavad Gita. If you want to achieve something in this world, no matter materially or spiritually, you have to be active. And if you are not active, you won't achieve much. Like some of the really successful people in this world, although they have like so much responsibilities and huge like companies and this and that, and you can see them maybe getting up like 4 or 5 in the morning, and they'll do some whatever meditation or some kind of absorption, maybe read a little bit a book, then maybe they'll go and do some running, then they'll come back, they'll take shower, they'll prepare for their day. Maybe they'll use 2 or 3 hours to prepare for the day. And someone may say, hey, wait a minute, like this for the guys who don't have companies. You're already successful. Why you're doing this? But actually that's why they are successful, because they learn to have all these habits, to be very active. So this is one thing we can learn from Bhagavad Gita. If we want results, we have to be active. Yes. And then it's not enough to be active, but you should be active. You should know what you want to achieve. This is also very important. You should have focus. You should know what is your goal, and you have to really go after your goal. Let's say if I'm telling you, okay, I'm buying you a ticket for whatever destination you want. Where you want to go, Krishna?
Vrindavan.
Okay, you see? He's prepared. He's fixed. He's focused. He knows his goal. Now, if you don't know, you'll miss your opportunity. I'll come and I'll tell you, I'll buy you a ticket, and you wonder, oh, maybe this place, maybe that place. No, actually, maybe I want to go to 2 places, not one. And then you may miss your chance. So it's very important that we know what is our goal. We have to be focused. Very, very important. And then we should be ready to put the endeavors to achieve this goal. So this is called determination. If you're active and you're focused and you're determined to put the endeavors, you achieve a result. Successful people are the people who are putting endeavors with a focus. They know what is their goal, what they want to achieve. So this is one important lesson from the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Again and again, Krishna is telling the Arjuna, you gotta be active, man. You gotta do your duty. You are a fighter. You have to fight. But then Arjuna is confused because he's thinking, wait a minute, if I do this, if I fight, I'll kill people. And then bad reactions will come from these activities. What will happen then? Who will take these reactions? I'll have to suffer for this. And then Krishna is saying this verse. No, wait a minute. If you just act materially, you'll get the reactions from your work. But if you act in yoga, means with knowledge in a special consciousness, and you are equipoised, then the result that will come, it won't be for you, it will be for me. I'll take it because you are acting on my behalf. You're doing whatever you are supposed to do. So Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, you have to be active, you have to be determined, you have to be focused. But when the result comes, you have to give it up. And then many people, they will ask, well, if I have to work so hard and I'll get a result and at the end I have to give it up, then why doing the job? Isn't it? Is it practical? Is it only me or it's like that? If I tell you work today, I have so much work for you. You know, I'm looking for people who are hard workers. I have so much work to you. But you know, at the end, I won't pay you. Okay, but I have so much work for you to do. Are you going to do it? It's very difficult, huh? It's very difficult to work, to put endeavors, to give your energy and at the end maybe not to get result. Krishna is saying, no, if you are active, there will be a result, but you should be ready to give the result to me. Offer the result to me. What does that mean practically? Not that we are not going to eat or we are not going to live, but everything that we are doing should be connected with Krishna. It should be for the pleasure of Krishna, the Lord. So this is called the art of action. Krishna is calling it. Arjuna, this is the art of action, the art of yoga. You have to be active, but give the result to me. And then Arjuna again, he has this bewilderment. Wait a minute, sometimes you are telling me to be active, sometimes you are telling me to develop transcendental knowledge. I don't understand what does that mean. I'm confused, Krishna. And then again, Krishna is explaining, no. It's very, very simple. You have to be active, but you have to act with knowledge. That means you have to be active with understanding, not with confusion. Very often we are active with confusion. First we are doing something, then we are thinking what we have to do. Isn't it? It happens sometimes or no? It should be the opposite. First you think what you have to do, and then you do it. Then you are active. So we have to be active with knowledge. And then in the second part of Bhagavad Gita, the middle 6 chapters, Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that, okay, now you learn, you're going to be active, you're going to perform your duty, but it's not enough. There is something else which is very, very important. You have to do it with your heart. You have to also put your emotions in this action. Or in other words, Krishna is saying, you have to remember me. You have to do it for me, for my pleasure. And that's why the title of the book is, what is the title?
Remember me and fight.
Why remember me and fight?
Fight with Krishna.
Correct. We have to fight for Krishna. In other words, we have to do whatever we are doing, whatever is our fight. Each and every one of us has a different fight. Yes? Someone is a worker, someone is a mother, someone is a father, someone is a teacher. Everyone has his duty to perform in life. This is our fight. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult. Each and every field of activity has its difficulties. Like sometimes there are people who are living in the temple, there are people who are living outside, and people from outside, they are coming and telling to the monks, oh, you know, my life is so complicated, so difficult, and your life is like relaxing whole day, and you're eating whole day, so easy, so nice. But then if you ask the monks, sometimes they look the people who are outside and they're saying, oh my God, I have to follow so many rules and regulations and get up early in the morning and go to all the programs. I have to study 3 hours every day. And you're living your life. You just go work 4, 5, 6 hours, put your money in the pocket, and then life is life. Oh, so easy. So basically, everybody thinks that the situation of the other person is very easy and his situation is very complicated. That's why each and every one of us, we have our fight to do in life. But it's not that we just have to fight. At the same time, we have to remember Krishna. Do our fight for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of the Lord. So this is the knowledge that Krishna is giving in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. He is practically explaining who is he. Why? Because it's difficult to do something for someone if you don't know him. Let's say someone comes to you on the street and he's telling, give me $5. I don't know you, man. I mean, if you're my friend, I will easily give you $5, but I don't know you. So our situation very often is like that with Krishna. We don't know who is Krishna. Okay, theoretically we get it that, okay, there is someone and he's the supreme controller and he's the supreme power and everything depends on him and we are dependent, we are parts of him. But actually we don't know who is Krishna. Yes? I mean, we know this Krishna, but not the other one. So that's why in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving us knowledge who is he. And if we develop understanding who is Krishna, how great he is, how powerful he is, and also how sweet he is, how nice he is, how much he is kind of loving us and wants to take care of us, then it will be very easy to do something for his pleasure, to remember him, isn't it? If you have a relationship with someone, then it's very easy to do something with them. Like for the parents, it's very easy to do something for the kids. Or for the kids, it's very easy to do something for the parents. Or for a boy, it's easy to do something for a girl if he loves her, or the other way around. If you know someone, it's easy to sacrifice, to do something. If you don't know someone, well, why am I going to do it? So that's why Krishna is giving so much knowledge about himself. And the idea of this knowledge is to create, to deepen our desire to do something for the pleasure of Krishna without asking anything in return, just like that. In 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Evam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo veti tattvataha so vikalpena yogena yujate natra samsheha. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. In other words, if someone understands how great is Krishna, how nice is Krishna, how interesting is Krishna, how funny is he, how beautiful is he, naturally you want to do something for him. naturally want to do something for him. He will engage in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt, Krishna is saying. So this is, we could say, like a lesson from the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So first 6 chapters, they are teaching us to be dutiful, active. And how we have to be active? With before the heart there was something else. Determination and focus. Okay. And what about the results? Be detached. Yes. Give them to God, not take them for you. So this is the art of action, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. And then in order to be able not just to give them to someone, but to give them to Krishna, we should know who is Krishna and why to give them to Krishna. This is the lesson of the middle 6 chapters. Now what about the last 6 chapters? Well, naturally, there will be many things that will stop us to do this. Yes? We will have all kinds of reasons not to do it. All kinds of doubts, all kinds of misgivings, things in our heart that will stop us to do this. Maybe they will stop us to be active, maybe they will stop us to be very determined or very focused, or maybe we'll be very active but we want to get all the result for us. And maybe, okay, we'll give something to Krishna. Like we can, whatever I have, we will equally divide it with Krishna. $1,000 for me, $1 for Krishna. 1,000 for me, 1 for Krishna. Sometimes this is our concept of being equally separating whatever we have between Krishna and us. So, or for example, there will be many things that they will not allow us to have a pure motivation to do something. Our motivation will be mixed. So the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they are helping us to understand why we cannot do this, why we cannot perform our duty steadily and get a good result and give this result to Krishna. What is the reason? What is still our difficulties in our heart? And each one will have different problems. But the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they are helping us to address this point. How to remove the things that are stopping us from making serious spiritual advancement. And that's why in these chapters, Krishna is speaking about the modes of material nature, how the modes are influencing us. So sometimes we feel very joyful, very happy, our mind is very clear, it's very easy to understand what you have to do. Next moment, suddenly you become so passionate and so many desires and so many ideas and you want to be the best. So much greed in the heart, I want to have everything only for me. And then next moment, you feel everything is completely useless and you don't want to do anything and everybody is wrong and everybody is on your case and you want to disappear and you don't want to exist, or you just want to go and sleep for 20 hours. Constantly all these things are coming in our mind, different kinds of obstacles. So Krishna, he's discussing all these things and he's helping us to become conscious of these things, how to remove them so that we can achieve our goal, to perform our duty, remembering Krishna, and to give the results to Krishna. So these are some nice lessons one can get from Bhagavad Gita in a like very easy, understandable way. And otherwise from Bhagavad Gita we can get so many other things. Like Bhagavad Gita is a great book for people who have identity crisis. Does it happen sometimes in your life to have identity crisis? Who am I and what I'm supposed to do in life? And how to achieve it? My spiritual master is telling a nice story. one time he went to one temple, and he went to this temple and he wanted to meet the person who is in charge for this place, the devotee who is the temple president. And he said, "Where is the temple president?" And they told him, well, he went to the ocean for a while. Apparently this temple was somewhere very close to the ocean. He said, "Okay, well, that's okay. The guy just want to relax a little bit. What's the problem?" So when was that? When he left to go to the ocean? They said, "Well, we think it was 3 days ago." He said, "Okay, this already sounds a little bit serious. So let's go and see what's going on here." So then he went and he found him there on the shore of the ocean. And Maharaj said, and I just sat down to him and we were just sitting for half an hour. And after half an hour I said, "Nice view, huh?" I mean, I had to just say something, Maharaj. So yeah, gradually he opened up and opened up and opened up, and then I just found out that he had identity crisis. He did so many things and he did so many things that he's supposed to do. He performed his duty. But somehow, in all this, he lost who is he. So yeah, Maharaj said, we had a good psychological conversation, and then he came back to the temple. But I mean, it can happen to everybody. It doesn't matter if you are a devotee or you are not a devotee. Of course, devotees, they already have some knowledge, at least from spiritual perspective, who are they and what they're supposed to do. But always we may have identity crisis, like Arjuna, such a great personality, like greatest warrior in the whole history of humanity. He had identity crisis in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. He didn't know what to do. I'm a fighter, but shall I fight or shall I not fight? Or I mean, I did it so many times, but somehow this time I have a problem. What to do? So he had identity crisis. So Bhagavad Gita is a great book for dealing with identity crisis. Or decision making. What about decision making? Have you ever had a problem to take a decision? It happened in your life? Yes or no?
Yes.
No. Respect.
The cyber threat actors had an identity crisis with their malfeasance and malicious activities. That's why I know had identity crisis around this place.
If one has proper knowledge, this knowledge will help him to avoid all kinds of crises or decision-making crisis. But generally in human life, it's very often seen that we have these problems. Why? Because there are two entities within us. One entity, I mean, apart from the soul, apart from the real spiritual living entity, we have intelligence and we have mind. Yes? And intelligence is telling us what we're supposed to do. So intelligence is being trained. That's why we go to school. We learn the different rules and regulations, moral stuff, and so on and so on. We are reading books like Bhagavad Gita to learn what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do. So intelligence is dealing with this. Intelligence is giving you information, what you're supposed to do in a certain situation. And it would be so easy if we had only intelligence. But we have also a mind. What's the problem with the mind? The mind doesn't care what is right and what is wrong. The mind is like a kid. The kid sees something and says, I want it. Like just I was 1 hour ago trying to distribute books outside on the street, and I was in an ice cream shop. And in the ice cream shop, of course, people go to buy what? Ice cream, of course. But there were also very beautiful lollipops inside. So I was the witness. The father is entering with the kid. And the father is saying, okay, so which ice cream? And the kid is saying, I want lollipop. And the father is, I cannot buy both. I can buy ice cream or lollipop. You choose. Lollipop. But we came to buy you ice cream. You said you want ice cream. No, I want lollipop. Are you sure? No. So it was a serious decision-making business there. 5 minutes, everybody's waiting. The kid should decide what he wants, the ice cream or the lollipop. So sometimes intelligence is saying one thing, but the mind is saying something else, and now you don't know what to do. So it's kind of a crisis. Well, again, Bhagavad Gita is helping us to go over these things. How? Well, from Bhagavad Gita we are understanding that the ultimate shelter both to our intelligence and to our mind is Krishna. Why sometimes our mind wants something else from what intelligence is telling us to ask? Because the mind thinks, intelligence is telling me to do this, but this won't make me happy. But this other thing will make me happy. Well, Bhagavad Gita is trying to explain to us so that we can understand that actually Krishna consciousness is the thing that will really make us happy. This is the thing that will make us happy. So in this way, many other lessons from Bhagavad Gita. I'll just step out and give Pandava Prabhu also to say a few things. Practical stuff from Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
I really like what Tulsi Prabhu said about the Krishna giving knowledge about himself so that this knowledge will inspire devotion. And in this line of thought, I wanted to share a few things which I hope they will inspire us to appreciate Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, more and more. The first thing is in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, what happens? Krishna becomes charioteer of Arjuna. So Krishna becomes Arjuna's servant. And whatever Arjuna orders, whatever Arjuna asks, then Krishna obeys the order. And this happens in the beginning when Arjuna tells him, please, Krishna drive the chariot in between the two armies. It happens later on when Arjuna decides, okay, I don't want to be friends, just friends. I want now you become my guru. So Krishna says, okay, I'm gonna serve you in any capacity. You want me to be your friend, I'll be your friend. Now you want me to be your guru, fine. And then he takes the service of guru and he enlightens his disciple. And
later he's also saying, I don't understand. Repeat again. Krishna is saying, okay, I'll repeat again, no problem.
Actually, that's true. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, after 18 chapters of intense teachings, Krishna asks Arjuna, do you understand?
You got it?
You got it? Do you have any doubts? And Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, Krishna is ready to repeat everything from the beginning. Should Arjuna ask for that, Krishna is no problem. The both armies, there are hundreds of thousands of soldiers. The whole world was waiting for this war for many years, at least 13, 14. No problem, they'll wait. I have a conversation with my dear friend, my dear devotee. The whole world stops, I'll talk to him. And then before that, Arjuna asks Krishna, please reveal your universal form. I want to see how you enter everywhere, how you are all pervading. Krishna says, yeah, okay, here it is. I'll give you divine eyes and you'll see. And then Arjuna sees this universal form and he becomes perturbed, afraid. And then he says, okay, but now, okay, thank you very much. Now go back to your two-armed form, please. This form is too frightening. And Arjuna and Krishna does all these things. So the point I wanted to make is that from the very beginning, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, till the end, Krishna actually serves his devotee Arjuna. He becomes servant of his devotee. Therefore, when at the end, Krishna asks Arjuna, now Sarvadarvam Parityaja Mamikam Sharanam Vraja. You surrender to me. He doesn't ask anything that he hasn't been doing all along. He requests Arjuna to give up all other ideas and just surrender to him. But Krishna has done this, he has been doing this since time immemorial for all of us, for all living entities. He has been serving us as a pure devotee. Therefore, Krishna is called Bhagavan Bhakti Bhaktiman. He is devotee of his devotees. And why he is asking this, why he wants Arjuna to surrender? Because this is the only real platform of personal interaction. Only when two persons don't have any selfish motives, they are free of desire of exploitation and they're free of lust, only then they can have real meaningful relationship. Otherwise, there will be exploitation, there will be dissatisfaction, frustration. So my point I want to make, Krishna doesn't ask this as a kind of tyrant or a dictator. He just knows that that's the only way we can have real relationships. That's okay. Very good. No problem. That's the only way we can have satisfaction and happiness and true interaction. If you want to associate with God, you have to become godly. That's Krishna's point. He is already on the level of pure devotion. So we all have to come up to this level. Otherwise, our relationship will be hampered. We will be obstructed by our own foolishness. We won't take a full advantage of this relationship. Just imagine you are really very fond of someone. You selflessly give yourself to this person, but he always or she always asks something. The other person, he's not completely happy just to have you, but he wants something else. You are just a instrument or just a means for him to attain something else. So that's what Krishna doesn't want. It's kind of relationship, but it's not fully satisfying. So that's one thing. Krishna is devotee of his devotees. So this is, in this way, he deals with his own people, so to say, the devotees. Another thing I wanted to mention, how Krishna deals with the other people, those who are not his devotees. It's an important thing because by the way we deal with the others, other people, not the people that we accept as our own family or community or whatever. This is very, very important for our level of, it actually determines our level of spiritual advancement. Some people say that if you're different from me or from us, you are evil, necessarily evil. That's very common nowadays. Always, not only now, but now somehow becomes more and more intense, this type of thinking and mood. So Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, people usually don't know that. They don't notice these things somehow. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very clearly says that those who worship other gods, he says, Yepi Anya Devata Bhakta, Anya other Devata, gods with small g, Bhakta, devotees. They actually worship only me. But they do it with improper understanding. And if these people are good people, and good, bad, or in between is decided not according to somebody's whims, but according to the impartial criteria of the three modes of the material nature, which Tulsi mentioned: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So if you're a good guy, Krishna says, you go to a good place. It doesn't matter whether you worship me or somebody else, no problem. You don't want to worship me? Fine. Worship. Anyway, whoever you worship is actually my agent, my devotee, because the demigods are also representatives of Krishna. So Krishna is not this type of jealous or angry divinity which will condemn you. If you don't worship him, he will condemn you to suffer in hell forever without any idea of correction. He's not this type of person. That's another thing. So Krishna is very kind to his devotees. He's also very kind to those who decide not to be his devotees. If they are good, they'll go to good place. If they are bad, then they'll go to bad place. But Krishna is not vengeful. He doesn't need to impose himself. Okay, that's the second thing. And the third thing I wanted to share, all these things that Tulsi Prabhu explained and what I'm trying to share, they are learned by a spiritual teacher. Therefore, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna decides to surrender to Krishna because he understands that Krishna asked me to fight, I refuse to fight, I give my arguments, but we're not going anywhere with this friendly talk. If I want to move forward in life, I have to change this dynamic and I have to surrender to Krishna. I need a guru, because when you have a spiritual teacher, you cannot disagree with him. That's the thing. You are free to test your teacher before you accept him. But once you accept him, you cannot just say, no, I don't agree. You have to do all these calculations beforehand. So this is the way to advance in any field, material or spiritual, and this will put an end to this friendly talk between two equal personalities, because they always can agree to disagree, and this is part of the beauty of friendship, because they friends are equal. The one friend is trying to advise his friend, and the other friend tells him, yeah, I know, I don't care, and they're friends, but this is not possible if you want to advance spiritually. You cannot have friendly talk. We have to submit to spiritual authority, and that means, in essence, that even when we don't understand precisely or exactly why my guru is telling me that I'm a fool, I have to accept that I'm a fool, because I don't understand something. I may be completely convinced that I'm right, but if my spiritual teacher tells me, no, you are wrong, I have to accept this. And this is very difficult, especially for us, people born in Kali Yuga, because we are very proud, that we are very intelligent, very smart, very sharp, and we understand everything. But this is necessary if we want to advance spiritually. So these were the three things I wanted to share. Maybe now you can ask for some input from the
Questions, reflections,
come
thoughts. Krishna Kripa Prabhu.
Thank you for all these interesting points. One thing that, there's one analogy that somebody gave that made it easier for me to understand why after doing all that work I still have to give the thing to Krishna. So suppose you want a table, and you get a carpenter, and you give him some wood, you give him some plans, and you pay his wages, and he makes the table, and then he takes the table home because it's his. That's completely off the wall, right? So when we do something, the material we use to make something with, that's been produced by Krishna. The intelligence that we're working with has been given to us by Krishna. The body that we're using has been given to us by Krishna. So the whole thing is assembled completely by the mercy of Krishna. Therefore, it makes perfect sense to Krishna.
nice point.
Very nice. Practical.
Another thing was, you're talking about liking this.
Excuse me, if I can just say on this point before I forget.
Sure.
You continue. There is a very nice story. Srila Prabhupada, they were walking on the beach, I think somewhere in Mumbai, with the devotees, and there was some wealthy Indian business person. And then Prabhupada asked him, so what is your business? And then this pious, he said, Swamiji, I'm producing glass. So how do you, Prabhupada asked him, so where do you take the materials? How do you do that? Well, and he explained, by sand, you mix the sand and then there is special technology. So we are taking the sand from the beach. And then Prabhupada kept asking, and then finally this gentleman, he said, yeah, from Krishna. Yes, I'm taking it from Krishna. Prabhupada said, this makes you a thief. And then this gentleman, he said, but Swamiji, I'm giving donations to your movement. And Prabhupada said, then you a small thief.
That's a great
Yeah.
concept. The other thing is you're saying how from the knowledge of Krishna we awaken devotion, and that's actually said by Krishna in one verse. The verse after the one Tulsi quoted, which was quoted 10:7. The next verse says, "I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts, because they know all these amazing details about me. They worship you with all their hearts."
Yeah, and also same point. Krishna has made the same point in 15th chapter. Okay. Whoever knows me as a Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O Son of Bharata. So same point throughout Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge means true knowledge leads to devotion. If you're not devotee of the Lord, that means your knowledge is not perfect.
Actually, the 410 is also along those lines.
Srila Prabhupada says, Bhakti resides in perfect knowledge of the Supreme.
Someone else wants to ask something.
This one wanted to say 410 because it's along those lines. Being free from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, taking reference in me. Many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. The knowledge purifies one, and then the love is.
Bhakavad Gita. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Tell us something about Krishna.
Well, it's more on a literal sense for the first 6 chapters when we were talking about activity and duty. Obviously, Arjuna is fighting this war, in duty. It's a spiritual duty to fight this war. So my follow-up question to this is, like, in the modern world, there are so many people that get drafted into wars, and then they don't have a choice for 2 years. They have to commit service. They have to fight for their nation and do things like kill, even though that's not, sanctioned by Krishna to kill others. What kind of reaction does a warrior in the modern age, army man that is drafted by force by his country, accumulate?
Yeah, as far as I know, Srila Prabhupada was asked this question. He said that the destination is not very good. So if one can avoid, one should try to avoid. Unless it is a war based on dharma, like Kurukshetra, then the result won't be good. Because basically there are two, how shall we put it, impious forces that are just fighting over the resources of planet Earth, and they are...
You just fight for money and nothing else.
Yeah.
It's not for moral principles, not for protection of innocent people.
Not really. It's more like the right to exploit people. That's what they're fighting for.
In many cases, it's the soldier is being forced. They're being drafted.
I understand.
So is it the leader of the country that's that's their fault because they don't have a choice? It's the rule of their country. They have to fight, or is it like, should they not just shoot themselves in the leg and say, no, I don't want to do this? Or...
Yeah, I cannot.
You just
Not
run to
give,
Mexico, that's it.
But it's
Forget about it.
everyone's fault. We all faulty because we are born in this age of godlessness, hypocrisy, and quarrels. So it's not just the president or whatever, the prime minister. All of us, why are we here? So we're not innocent. Still, the free choice is given. There are situations that will be put, but how we will react to this situation, this is our free choice. Freedom of choice. Yes, Mataji.
Some places it's easier to avoid than others, but having recently finished Miracle on 2nd Avenue and chasing the rhinos with Swami, both of those authors successfully, different ways, avoided the Vietnam War, and then were able to serve.
They were drafted?
Can't remember exactly. They got out of it somehow, like creative in different ways, but they got out of it successfully, thankfully. But in some places, it's not so. There's not even a possibility, right?
Thank you.
Someone wants to share something or ask something more?
Regarding killing, like in the war situation. But now I'm thinking about the cows. There are people along the way, like in terms of the meat industry and how the meat ends up. All the people who there are people that play the role in the ultimate result. So they're all guilty in some way. They've created karma, so they will have to pay for every hair every hair on the cow's back for this, even though a person didn't directly do it, but they played a role in it, you see. I don't know why, I just felt to bring that up in terms of when you spoke about war.
I'm just thinking in this regard that, practically speaking, anything and everything that we are doing, it creates some disturbance of living entities, and even sometimes, often destruction of living entities. So yeah, in this situation is intense destruction, like of holy animals, but in every situation, like one time we were traveling with a car, and when you travel fast with a car, then at the end when you get off and you see the front part of the car, it doesn't look clean anymore. So I saw this and I thought, wow, just moving from one place to the other, you actually become the reason for like finishing the existence of so many living entities. So like some people, their solution of this problem is, okay, I'll try to avoid any kind of violence, but you cannot really, because like you have these spiritual people that they try to walk everywhere with a mask. They're called Jainists. Have you heard?
James.
So 2 years ago, the whole world became Jains because everybody was wearing masks. And they're walking and they're sweeping in front of them because they don't want to step on any living entity. But at the end of the day, again, you will step on living entities. You will breathe. You will become the reason for damaging some living entities. So our solution of this problem is constantly chant Hare Krishna. Because if you're doing this, even if some living entities are destroyed, actually they will get liberation and they will live. They will live. They will go back to the spiritual world. So whenever we are doing, we have to chant Hare Krishna. That's our solution to the problem. Okay, I think it's time to go to the last part of our program.